Banana Slam Jam.
Hello, it's BSJ. This is going to be my absolute first impression of this 7.25B patch. Looks like it's pretty short once again, so this will just be any major thoughts it has on the impact of the meta in the immediate future, because it looks like they're willing to release pretty constant updates so far. So what they did was Killstreak XP bonus reduced from 500 starting to 2040 to 30 times the level up until 100 times the level. That's kind of cool. So if I'm on a killing spree and I'm level 10, I'm now worth 300 XP. So once I hit level 17, it's more at base level. And once I hit level 20, it's more for Beyond Godlike. So pretty much before level 17 and level 20, you're getting less experience on a kill streak XP bonus. I was already seeing pro players in my games talk about going for heroes in terms of ganking them purely based on the fact that they have kill streaks. This applies when you're ahead. You could be ahead and the opponent 5 position would be on a kill spree, and you'd get 500 bonus XP for killing them. So if it's a 5 position, this also applies to supports now that I think about it, meaning like if you're a 5 position with a killing spree, you're worth way less than you used to be before this 7.25B patch. Yeah, you're still worth the same amount of gold, but I'd say in the early to mid game, XP is probably more important. So like if I'm a carry and I just solo kill an enemy support previous to this patch, I'm getting 500 XP bonus if they're on a kill spree. But now, say the guy's level 7 or 8, I'm getting, 240, 270, 210, whatever. Not that much. So I'd say that's a pretty big difference, not only for like the early game kill streaks, but also like it does somewhat now matter who's on the killing spree, while prior it just treated all kill streaks equal. Trusty Shovel, I thought they might nerf this. The fact that TPs went from 50 to 90 made it so that the Trusty Shovel TP scrolls were really valuable. I was pretty shocked that they left it as is before, so you're effectively getting 90% of the gold that you used to get from Trusty Shovel. Obviously, it's half now, but like 90% prior to the main patch, you're only getting 90 gold worth of TPs rather than 100 gold previously. Ring of TARRASQUE, this was an obvious nerf to me as well. I thought, to be cute, they should nerf it from 600 gold to 601, just so you could not buy it at the very start of the game. The item was just too good. Some offlaners were starting, even some other roles were just starting Ring of TARRASQUE in like one pooled tango and then buying items later. It was just too valuable. You got 4.5 health regen. If your support had a headdress, you were sitting on most offlaners at about 9 health regen, which is pretty nutty. If you're a hero with decent base stats, it was too good, I think. Meaning you have base damage, decent base movement speed. So now you could technically go to the runes, get a rune, and then fly it out to yourself. But I was noticing for myself that I would just trade at the runes and then lose 200, 300 health or whatever at the runes. And then in the next 40 seconds, regen it all back with my 8 health regen. Because of the extra 4.5 from the Ring of TARRASQUE. So it does... You can still similarly buy it, I guess. But it was just stupid that you could buy such a value item and your starting inventory looked like a Ring of TARRASQUE. That's definitely not intended when they buffed it from 700 to 600 gold. So I know I talked a lot about this, but it is a rather significant 50 gold change there. Necronomicon mana cost increase. This is a big one, because the item was buffed so many times to give mana regen. So, like 3 patches ago, like way back, like 7.22, Necronomicon gave 1 mana regen at level 1. Now it gives 3. We are seeing Necrobook on Spectres. Like, that's when you know the item's probably a bit too good. I was seeing it on Ember Spirits. This is kind of what they did to Sheepstick, right? Way back when it was bought on every type of hero in the game as like a 3rd, 4th item. It just becomes much more situational. Because heroes that previously could just buy it now have to worry about the mana cost of the actual active. So... I think a lot of int heroes that were buying it before, maybe like the Dazzles of the world, can still afford it. And even heroes like Beastmaster that don't have too high of mana costing abilities. But that's a pretty drastic mana cost increase and puts a limitation on what heroes can actually buy the item. The item's still very good, I think, but seeing it on heroes like Spectre will probably be much less common just because they can't afford that 100 extra mana. Hero changes Lycan base damage reduced by 6. That is a lot. What the hell? That is a lot. I know this hero had a high win rate, but that is a lot of base damage. Holy crap. 6. That's a lot. He went from 59 to 53. So that's a lot, especially when your passive gives you, 14%. You lost 7 base damage when you level your passive because it gave you an extra 1 from that 6. So when you have your passive, you used to have 66 damage, and now you have 59. So that's, yeah, you buy a Quelling Blade, so you hit for 77, then you maybe buy an item or two. But that's still a very significant nerf. It also just affects him for the rest of the game, right? He just has 6 less damage for the rest of the game when it comes to hitting creeps, hitting towers, everything. Like, it seems small, but Lycan probably right-click shit, 2,000 times a game, so that adds up a lot. Not saying, like, heroes, but, like, buildings, creeps, everything. So that's a lot. Hurts his laning stage, hurts his entire game. Hurts a lot of, that hurts a lot. Shapeshift talent also nerfed to 6 seconds, and level 25 talent also nerfed to 2 instead of 3. So Lycan got the nerf bat, receiving Ursa's treatment from last patch. I also thought Weaver was pretty broken. We weren't seeing him too much, though. I played him once myself as an offlaner. They reduced his agility gain, so at level 10 he'll have 5 less agility. Or level 11, I guess. And Sakuchi movement speed reduced by 20 at all levels. Okay. So they didn't hurt him too hard. But they just probably, saw Mason winning too many games on Weaver or some shit. They're like, if Mason can win, that means it's probably worth a nerf. So, no, I mean, I thought Weaver was a little overbuffed. They gave him the base mana regen. They used to be 225 on Sakuchi. Now they gave him 55 movement speed when it's almost always up. It's still an extra 35 movement speed as a contrast to the previous patch, 7.24. So overall, the hero's, I think, still buffed because of the mana regen plus the Sakuchi movement speed. I don't think agility hurts him all that much. It's obviously noticeable, meaning that it's going to matter, but I think the hero is pretty much the same, just a little bit worse. This seems a pretty drastic nerf. But yeah, pretty small patch, but I think they're doing a good job of addressing things that were good changes, meaning that, Necrobook wasn't bought because it was it gave too much gold to the opponent. Lycan just had too good of an early game. Weaver just got a little too quality of life buffs. Trusty Shovel obviously went up in value with TP Scrolls because the TP Scroll cost changed. Ring of Trask being bought at the start of the game. All these things, kill streaks on supports being ridiculously valuable. Just getting tweaked a little bit so that they keep the change in place, but, it isn't just a little bit too good. So, hope you guys enjoyed that little review of the patch.